I took my profit this morning on the Euro USD. I made profit here on the Euro USD. Remember, we had a take profit target initially at 1.02100 area, which is around this area. And one thing I saw was I saw the price come back down into this area. So I took another opportunity here and I extended my take profit target into the 1.02500 mark. So I took my profit, I think, a couple of hours before this session began. So now this scenario we have here on the Euro USD. Before I do that, those who took advantage of that opportunity, kudos to you. Well done to you guys for you to have taken advantage of that move. Remember, the bullish potential was as a result of the reversal pattern we identified here on the 1 hour time frame. And let me show you that reversal pattern. We saw this bearish trend line. We had this bearish trend line that has been holding price action since the beginning of the month. This red dotted line I show you on your screen. I'll be waving that red line now so that you can see it. This red line. So we had that red line running, and fortunately for us, we were able to see that price action broke out of that trend line during the course of later part of last week trading session. So giving us a clue into the possible bullish potential here. And during the early hours of the week, we begin to see price consolidate within the neckline area, giving us a bullish potential. So I told you to take advantage of that move at the breakout of the key level at 1.0100 area, which we have already taken, and price has gone to the upside from here. So at this point in time, how do we intend taking advantage of any opportunity lining up for us during the New York session? So let me delete this so that we can have a clear picture of what we are talking about here. Let me delete all this one so that we can. All right. So now at this point, I would like us to go to a higher time frame so that we can have an holistic view of what price action is giving us at this point. So if we look left, we have a very, very simple structure at this point. And you will ask me, what structure is that? We have a strong impulsive move to the downside. And that's the impulse leg we saw here. We saw this impulse leg to the downside from here. We saw the significant breakout of a very strong demand zone in the past. We saw this demand zone that has been holding price action in the past. We saw it hold price action in the month of May. We saw it hold price action here. We saw it hold price action in the middle of June. And then we saw it hold price action a little bit in the later parts of June before we saw the breakdown of that structure during the early days of this month. And then it appears price is doing a retracement of that previous impulse leg, which makes this setup a very, very simple one we can take advantage of. And how do we take advantage of that? Transmission. Oh, great. So we all understand that from a technical perspective, after we cite an impulsive move, we expect that price is going to do a retracement phase into a golden zone area, after which we look out for a reversal pattern that will support price actions movement into the prior leading price actions direction. So what am I saying here is this. We already have an impulsive move like this from 1.0600 area. We saw that impulsive move to the downside. There appears we are seeing a retracement phase, and we might be expecting price to do a reversal pattern right within the golden zone area that will push price to the downside from there. So how do we identify the golden zone area? You all know what I'm talking about. Our golden zone area is always the area between the 50 and the 78.6% of the previous impulse leg. So if we bring out our Fibonacci retracement tool from this point and run it through the impulse leg, what do we have? So we identify between the 50 and the 78.6%, which falls within the 1.02850 area, a very strong psychological level, and the 1.0500 mark, giving us this area as our new selling opportunity zone going forward. So I want to give this a yellow. That's okay. So we delete this. We no longer need this anymore. So one thing we want to be looking out for is this. So if you are taking advantage of that bullish potential from this point, you might want to be looking at putting your extending your take profit target a little bit into the selling opportunity zone. If we are here to take your profit. So one thing I'm expecting here is that price is likely going to come into somewhere around the 50, the 618 or the 78.6% area, after which we're going to be looking forward to a reversal pattern within this area. It could come in the form of a head and shoulder pattern, a double top structure, a rising wedge, a flag pattern, whatever pattern it comes in form. We look out for the structure. We look out for confirmations on lower time frame in the form of a breakout of structure, retest of structure, then we join the decline to the downside. Remember, we don't always get too excited at the sight of a signal, as we want to wait for confirmations to happen before we want to join the decline. So this is the scenario I'm looking out for here. So that means if you are yet to be in the trade on the Euro USD, then you want to be patient enough to wait for price action to come to you. And where are you going to be sitting? We are going to be sitting right within the selling opportunity zone, waiting for price action to come there to meet us, and we look out for patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside. And if we look left, we can see that this area at one point in time has been a demand zone which was broken. And we all understand that if price breaks a structure, if we see a breakout of structure, what do you expect? We expect a retest of that structure to push price in the direction of the breakout. So if we saw a breakout, we expect price to come and do a retest of that structure to push price to the downside. So you can see that these confluence are aligning together to give us that potential opportunity we are looking for. So we don't know when this is going to happen, but it is more important that you set your price alert within this region, waiting for price action to come to you. So now the other perspective is this. Remember, this area has been a selling opportunity zone, and this one I want to explain here is for scalpers, those who like taking trades on lower time frame. So this other perspective, you see that this area has been a selling niche for participants in the market, and that is why I was able to identify this level at 1.01900 and 1.0200 area as a supply zone. So if you want to be taking, if we look at the structure here, we look at between here and the selling opportunity zone, we still have around 170, 180 pips to catch here, 200 pips at least to catch here. So how do we take advantage of that move if it finally happens? So one thing I want to be looking out for is a breakout of that structure, which appears to have happened. We can see that we have an engulfing candle already breaking out of that supply zone. And one thing I want to be seeing is a retest of the supply zone, where I'll be looking for patterns on lower time frame to support a trend continuation to the upside. So if you want to take a short-term perspective on this one, you might want to be taking advantage of a bullish potential right above this level. Mind you, this is for those who like taking short-term trades, those who like taking trades on lower time frame, scalpers, whatever you want to call it, day traders, whatever you call it. So we look out for patterns here on the lower time frame right above that supply zone, and we have our take profit target sitting around the probably around the 1.0 between the 1.0500 area and around 1.03500 area as our take profit target. So remember, what we are going to be looking out for, we have our stop loss right below here at around 40 pips. We look out for breakout of that supply zone, retest of structure, then we can join the rally to the upside. So if we scale down to a much lower time frame at this point, let's see if we already have a breakout retest of structure. It appears we already have, but I want us to see further confirmations. Let us hold on a little bit and let's see price come a little bit back down. Probably this could take, let's say, 2, 3, 4 hours. I'm not sure what that is. Price come back down before we see that move to the upside from here. So this is for counter trend traders. In fact, it can even come as low as here to do a retest before you see the move to the upside from here. But if you're a long-term perspective, you're a long-term trader, then you want to be patient enough to wait for price to come into your selling opportunity zone within the 1.0300 area and the 1.0500 area, where you want to be looking out for a reversal pattern to join the decline to the downside from here. So this is my perspective here on the Euro USD.